Hey people, how are you doing today? It's Makeda Valletta, and I'm live on my IG page, live from Chicago, walking down the street, leaving the gym, and had something in my mind I wanted to talk about, so I said, why not heal a few birds with one stone? So I did a video about this some years ago that was titled Be Careful Who You Take Nutrition Advice From. It was a 2-part video. You can find it on my Instagram and my YouTube pages. Make sure to follow me in both places. But you know, everybody thinks that, hey, everybody thinks they're a nutrition and a fitness expert, okay? And I really believe in practitioners staying in their lane. So today I saw a video on YouTube. It was a nurse who made a video talking about her weight loss journey, and she was saying that losing weight is 80% diet, 20% what you do. And she was saying, oh, it's barely what you do. That doesn't really matter. It's all about your diet. And I did a video talking about this as well before. When people come up with these percentages about, oh, it's 20% diet or 20% exercise or whatever. Now, I have an extensive background in both, I have an extensive background in exercise science and nutrition science, okay? So a lot of times you have trainers who just have a background in fitness and exercise. Trainers are not qualified to speak about nutrition, even though they do it all the time. Hold on a second. Oh. Am I going to go sit? Hold on a minute. Maybe I should sit in this part. No. Okay. Even though trainers are always giving nutrition advice, you always see trainers constantly. But when you get certified as a trainer, they make it clear, okay, that you're not a nutritionist. You're not qualified to give nutrition advice. Trainers give terrible nutrition advice, okay? When I was working in gyms years ago, that's one of the things that bothered me was I would sit there and see my boss give terrible nutrition advice. And I couldn't say anything because I was my boss and you can't embarrass your boss. But that's not what they study, that's not what they know. Then on the flip side, you can have somebody who's a nutritionist. They don't know anything about exercise. They might know it's important to exercise. But there's different kinds of exercise for different things. Some exercise is detrimental and some is helpful. Not all exercise is good. Not all exercise will help you reach your goals. Some things will set you further back. Some things can cause you to get injured, right? Now then when you have a nurse and a doctor, okay, because people always talk about how doctors don't get any nutrition training in medical school. They don't. But even if they had some, nutrition is way too complicated for you to, even if doctors did have nutrition training, it's way too complicated for them to also be knowledgeable enough in nutrition. So let me give you an example. I know about medications, okay? When you study nutritional biochemistry, when you study exercise physiology, there's a lot you have to learn about the body. So I do know about a lot of medications and how they work. When I completed my master's in medical cannabis science at the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy, well, all my professors were pharmacists, and we learned how pharmacists approach things and how to think like a pharmacist. And we didn't just learn about cannabis. There were other drugs and stuff that we learned about. However, even with that knowledge, that doesn't make me qualified to prescribe drugs to people. That doesn't make me qualified to, mix up drugs for people. I know about them. I can help people avoid being on them. I can help you find alternatives, right? But I'm not the one to prescribe medications or to deal with that, okay? Really, the people who really know about medications are not the doctors, it's the pharmacists. People don't talk to the pharmacists, but doctors don't study, they don't actually study medicine for real, like the actual pharmaceuticals. They study how to diagnose something, and then they have to give one of the acceptable treatments that the American Medical Association says is acceptable in their little book. That's what doctors do. Doctors are not super knowledgeable about medications. The pharmacists are. Okay? But nobody talks to the pharmacist. Sometimes the pharmacist will tell you something different than a doctor because doctors don't pay attention a lot of times to all the medications that somebody is on. And so this nurse who I saw, and she was speaking in absolutes. Like, just because something worked for you, like for her, let's say she said that losing weight was 80% diet, 20% what you do. And she said that as if that was a fact. Okay? Then she proceeds to tell her weight loss journey. But the thing about fitness, just like with medicine. Okay, no, I can't say just like with medicine. Because medicine, the medical community, they have a one-size-fits-all approach to things. Oh, you have this problem, take this pill. That's a one-size-fits-all kind of approach. They don't dig deep and get to roots of issues. For what I've been doing for the past 20 years, working with individuals. So it's not only that I have the certifications and the academic background, but I've been working with people for 20 years. Okay? All different walks of life, all different things going on with their body. When I work with people, I do a very in-depth personal assessment, and I look exactly at what's going on with them. Okay? I don't jump to conclusions and say, oh, you have this problem, you need to do this. Okay? Because you can have this problem for several different reasons. You can find 5 people with the same problem for 5 different reasons, right? So when I pointed this out to this nurse that I disagree, and I told her my background, and she's like, well, I'm saying 10 toes down. I'm like, well, you are a nurse, okay? Your background is nursing. You take care of patients, you patch up boo-boos, you administer medications. You did not study nutrition. You didn't study sports nutrition. You didn't study exercise physiology. You don't know about strength and conditioning. You didn't really study muscle physiology and fat physiology like that. Okay? You haven't been working with clients for 20 years, helping them with these things. So the fact that she felt like she was justified to say, when I'm telling her my background and the fact that what she's saying is flawed, and she felt like, oh no, I'm going to stand 10 toes down. I like practitioners that stay in their lane. I know a lot about muscles and where they are and da-da-da. That doesn't mean I'm a massage therapist. I can probably give a good massage. But if somebody had something like seriously wrong with them, there's things that you have to know if you're a massage therapist. If you're really a massage therapist and you're working with the public and you're working with people with all kinds of things going on with their body. And if I was doing something or I said something about massage and a massage therapist who has been doing the work for 20 years told me that what I was saying was flawed, I would listen. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm staying 10 toes down, because what the fuck do I really know? Have I been doing this for 20 years? Did I go to school for this? No. I might have studied something similar, but it's not the same. And I feel like when it comes to nutrition, there's no respect. Everybody thinks they're a nutritionist. And even in my personal life, like, I don't like to go around giving people advice and being annoying. But it's crazy, like when I'm dating or something and like somebody starts telling me about their eating habits and they're telling me a bunch of nonsense propaganda. They're telling me things as if they're facts. And I'm like biting my tongue because I don't want to get into an argument with them, because people do think they know what they're talking about. But I just find it interesting because I'm like, if I was dating somebody who was a tax attorney or an accountant and they knew I had a business, and I was sitting there talking to them about what I do with my taxes for my business, and this person has been a tax attorney or an accountant for businesses for 20 years, and they say to me, you know what? You know, you really shouldn't do it that way. That's actually not correct. I wouldn't be like, oh no, I'm saying 10 toes down on that. I wouldn't do that. I would listen, because I'm like, this person knows more than I do about this. Okay? So I'm just telling you, there's so much bullshit and propaganda that comes from nurses and doctors. Okay? There's a lot of bullshit nutrition propaganda that comes from trainers. Trainers are always trying to get you to eat something low fat, no fat, protein powder, drink Gatorade, all this poison. The fitness industry is so toxic. Everything they sell in the gym, all those drinks, they're all cancer causing. They're all terrible. Okay? Right now, I'm walking home. In here, it says Synergy, which is like a probiotic thing, but that's not what's in here. I have a little bit of pineapple juice and a bunch of coconut water in here. Okay? This is what I was drinking in a glass bottle while I was working out. I would never touch Gatorade. Okay? If Gatorade came to me and said, we'll pay you $3 million to do a commercial, I wouldn't do it. Okay? Because Gatorade is trash. It's cancer causing. I would never promote it. I don't give a fuck how much they paid me. Okay? I'm not one of them. It smells like some good weed over here. Let me walk this way. Yeah, I'm not one of them that's going to do anything for money and promote some poison because they're paying me. So, and you hear a lot of doctors and nurses talk about BMI. BMI is 100% inaccurate measurement, okay? The BMI has zero significance. That measurement is not something, I did a video about that also some years ago that can be found on my Instagram and my YouTube pages, called BMI versus body fat percentage. Now, body fat percentage is what you want to look at, not BMI. BMI takes into account your height and your weight. It doesn't take into account what percentage of your weight is muscle and what percentage is fat. And that matters because muscle is more dense than fat. So what does that mean? That means you could have a pound of muscle, let's say, that takes up the space of a penny. Let's say a pound of muscle is like a penny, okay? And then let's say a pound of fat is the size of a marshmallow, okay? And you see marshmallow is bigger than a penny, but a marshmallow is also lighter than a penny, right? That's what density is. It's the weight and the amount of space it's taken up. So if you lose 10 marshmallows, okay, so you lose 10 pounds of fat, and you gain 9 pounds of muscle, 11 pounds of muscle, okay, you're actually smaller. But your weight might have only gone down 1 pound or no pounds. But you're smaller. Because again, if you remove 10 marshmallows and put 9 pennies or even 11 pennies in that same space, it's going to take up less space. So the person will be smaller but heavier because muscle is denser than fat. So this is the reason why this BMI, which only takes into account your height and your weight, is completely inaccurate. You should never use that number for any reason. And the second that a nurse or a doctor or anybody else starts talking about BMI, their credibility is instantly disqualified. Okay? Now again, I'm not a fly-by-night trainer. There's a lot of people, a lot of Instagram trainers, a lot of people who, because they played sports, and they're a trainer. But when you actually, yes, I did get a degree in the field. A lot of people love to talk about how they didn't learn anything in college. That's not the case with me. You'll never hear me say that. I got a great education at the University of Delaware. where I did my degree in exercise and sports science with a concentration in strength and conditioning and a minor in sports nutrition. Okay. I think University of Delaware had one of the best programs in the country because you can get degrees, not all degrees are the same in terms of the curriculum, in terms of the stuff that you have access to on campus, the type of facilities. Okay. I'm sorry, I just read a question that somebody wrote. What I don't understand. From the body's perspective, is it better to just be flat out lighter within reason? No. No, it's not about being lighter. It's about your body fat percentage. What percentage of your body is lean body mass and what percentage of it is fat mass? Lean body mass is muscle and bones. Okay, you also have water weight too. When you're doing more advanced measurements, you would take into account. Sorry, somebody called me. Okay. Yeah, when you're doing more advanced measurements, you would take into account the water, the lean body mass, and the fat. So it's about that overall, okay? Your body fat percentage. That is what matters. And I don't even like talking about losing weight. It's about losing fat. Because when people are focused on losing weight, you can lose muscle. And you don't want to lose muscle. Okay? You do not want to lose muscle. And there are exercises. Earlier I said some exercises are not good for you. Some exercises are detrimental. Well, there are exercises that are catabolic. That means it breaks down your muscle. So people who love to jog for miles, that breaks down your muscle. And it can break down your bone. And that's not what you want as you age. It's not what you want as a man. It's not what you want as a woman. Because that decreases your testosterone, causes all kinds of joint problems. You want to do anabolic activity that builds muscle, okay? Muscle is the metabolic tissue in the body, and muscles also, it supports the joints. It takes stress off of our joints. So the most important thing you can do as you age is engage in anabolic activity. So running sprints, that's anabolic, okay? Skating like a speed skater, that's anabolic. Going and lifting weights. But if you're like, oh, I'm going to go jog 5 miles every day. No. They'll cause you to lose muscle, which causes you to slow down your metabolism, causes more stress to go on your joints. Next thing you know, you have knee problems and ankle problems and hip problems and this and that and that and that. Okay? So the most important thing is not the overall weight, it's your body fat percentage. And you want to not focus on losing weight. You want to focus on losing body fat. Because you can lose, if you do catabolic activity as breaking down your muscle, or you're not eating enough calories and protein to maintain your muscle, you'll lose muscle. So you're losing weight, and that's a no-no. So hopefully I got my message across. I'm home and my phone is dying, but I've had to speak about this, that nurses and doctors need to stay in their lane, and other practitioners too, need to stay in their lane when it comes to nutrition, because they're not nutritionists, they're not trained in that. And nurses always think that they know about nutrition. Like, I have and nurses are, a lot of times I leave them alone. I don't even try to, because they're very like, they have an attitude that's similar to doctors in a sense to me, where it's like they know good and goddamn well that that's not what they studied, but they be standing 10 toes down that they know what they're talking about. I even have an aunt who is a major, head nurse in Virginia. She's in her 70s now, but like, she eats the worst food and she thinks that she knows. And I can't even try to tell her. I have 2 aunts like that. They don't listen to me at all. I'm like, that's what I studied. It's not what you studied. Okay? But yeah, be careful taking your advice from nurses and doctors when it comes to nutrition, because they need to stay in their lane. That is not their field. Be careful when it comes to your health, because when it comes to your health, what you don't know can hurt you. Okay? So you might be thinking you're doing the right thing, or following somebody who you think they know what they're talking about. And then next thing you know, you have a serious health issue that you didn't have to have because you were doing the wrong shit for all these years. Okay? I know it can be confusing. That's why on my page, I'm always posting videos, not just myself, but I post books. I post sources for you to go look at. I'm very much into research and things that are well researched. So anything that I post, any book that I post, you can understand it's official. It's not no bullshit. This is not no Sabi or Layla Africa nonsense, okay? Because a lot of people think that, and I refuse to call him Dr. Sabi. A lot of people think that he's so brilliant, but the man was a fraud. I did a video about that some years ago too. I might have to do that again. But anyhow, be careful, because when it comes to your health, what you don't know can hurt you. I'm going to let you guys go. Hope you learned something. Make sure you follow me on YouTube. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. And I'll see you in the next video. And if you learned something, share it. Okay, people? Have a lovely day, and I'll see you later. Bye.